Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I think many of you have probably already heard of this news. About 2 weeks ago it was announced and I completely forgot to make a video about it because I got busy at work. I saw it on a break. Didn't mark the movie itself on my IMDb for when I'd open it up the next day after going to bed and waking up and so on, to talk about this news, which is about the Blair Witch Project being picked up rights-wise by Blumhouse. Apparently they've announced there's going to be a new film. I don't think they said trilogy or anything like that like they did with The Exorcist, and The Exorcist Believer being a total shit pile. David Gordon Green having left, a lot of people trashing things like Imaginary, and a lot of Blumhouse films like Black Christmas second remake. This is news that I don't know how to feel about. Many people who are diehard fans of Blair Witch Project probably already have their feelings set in stone about how they feel about this movie. This is film number 4, mind you. And personally, I'm not a big Blair Witch guy. I actually think parts of the Adam Wingard film, the third movie, are actually better to me than the original film. The original film I've seen probably 3 or 4 times at this point for my teenagehood when it really would have been effective, and I think it was my first ever found footage movie, even before I saw Paranormal Activity, I believe, and I didn't like it then. I thought it was boring. Never thought it really worked after that point. I've tried different ways of watching it. At night, by myself, super late, past midnight, in the dark, surround sound. I've tried everything. It never worked for me like it did for a lot of other people. And if you love it, that's good. I'm glad you like it so much. But me personally, I've never been a fan of it. And I think I saw Blair Witch 2 a couple of times, maybe on TV, so I never got the full experience, but I remember thinking that was more watchable than the original. Obviously, it's not a found footage movie, so that's a little bit of a different conversation to have. But I'm not a big Blair Witch guy. And this news here, I don't know how to feel about, because they're using the big-ass red flag words where they're like, oh yeah, well, we're going to make this for a new generation. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Please don't put politics in your stupid-ass Blair Witch sequel, prequel, whatever you're planning on doing. Please don't do that. I don't think they will, but you can't help but wonder. They did it with Purge. They felt like doing it with the Exorcist movie, Believer. I don't know. I want them to succeed. I want found footage movies to be more something popular than what it is. There's a lot of really good ones out there, like the Fear footage, and a lot of different things I've talked about here on the channel over the years that I really enjoy. And I think found footage has a really big audience out there somewhere. It's a niche market, but it's a market nonetheless that I think a lot of us really love and appreciate quite a bit. Blair Witch, despite not appealing to me, I respect it, and I respect the fans that love it so much too. There's a reason they find so much to love about it, and it easily was more effective back when it came out back in the day. Not so much now, where everybody knows the stories about it. Everybody knows that it's fake and that it's not real. They should have known back then, but it was easier to fool people with marketing and whatever. Just like the first Paranormal Activity, a lot of people thought that was real when it came out in like, what, 2006 or 7? I was around at that point. I was in middle school, pretty sure. And I knew about people saying they thought it was real, and people I knew went to the theaters and jumped out of their damn skin watching that piece of shit, boring-ass movie. Anyway, despite my feelings about Blair Witch, I respect the original movie, and I think a lot of people are not going to look forward to this. And personally, I don't think it'll succeed. I don't think it'll make much money, because the previous one with Adam Wingard, of all people, who had done You're Next and The Guest, now he's doing Godzilla movies, and he's great at that too. This guy was a respected filmmaker with You're Next and The Guest, and now he was tacked onto the third film. It didn't make any money. And that's sad, but it's true. I just don't see how this could do well. There's no filmmaker, director, writer, anything like that attached so far to this. But can they really make this work? I don't think so. I don't think so. Without tying back to like Heather and all of the other characters from the original film, I don't think anybody on the planet's going to give a shit about this movie. And I think it's Blumhouse wasting more money than they ever should have, like they did with Exorcist. They must make a shit ton of money to be able to spend so much money on such nonsense that there's not really an obsession for. You heard people for a long time saying they wanted more Halloween films, more Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play, for God's sake. Those things make sense. The Scream films didn't really have the people who weren't hardcore fans outside of the first film like myself craving new movies until I saw 6 and 7, or 5 and 6, excuse me, and really enjoyed those and wanted more and more, and I still want more. They really, Radio Silence as a duo director team proved that you could do more with it, and I've enjoyed what I've seen from them. It's some of the best sequels we ever got in Scream, if not the very best out of the other sequels from the original movie. And you can be proven wrong. I want to make that very clear. There's a way to turn this around, but I don't see it happening with a found footage series. I just don't. Maybe Shudder could do something cool with this, but I don't know what filmmaker or whoever I would put on task for this. Maybe like Joseph Winter from Deadstream and from VHS 99. I think he could be a really good pick. Well, he and his wife, I think is who it is, that made those two movies with him. They are a great duo. I think they'd be fantastic for something like that. Take my advice, go check them out. Both of those movies really solid, especially the portion of VHS 99 that Joseph Winter did. But aside from that, that's about it. That's like the only people I'd recommend. My biggest fear is they bring in somebody overrated like David Bruckner. Seems like a nice guy. Not a big fan. Just not a big fan of his standalone stuff like Hellraiser and The Night House or whatever it was called. He's got a good style, but it's the films that he makes that I just could not give less of a shit about. So that's my big fear. They're going to bring in somebody like that, or a complete normie straight out of, college and film school that doesn't know what they're doing to make this, and then it'll flop. And then they'll blame the filmmaker instead of blaming, the fact that they spent a shit ton of money on Blair Witch Project rights. And now you have this whole thing, too, where like the original cast are calling the original film disrespectful and how they didn't get the money they thought they earned and whatever. Bunch of hippies. So anyway, I am immensely curious as a not so big a fan of the franchise to see what happens with Blair Witch's new movie, or movies if they make more. I'm assuming they have a 3-picture deal or some sort of thing like that, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. I'm not going to hold my breath that I'm going to like it. Because even if they make something that the original fans love, like that original movie, there's a good chance I won't like it. So it's kind of the thing where I feel like any way we go, I'm probably not going to enjoy it. But maybe you will. I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments about what they should do down in the comment section down below. The Blair Witch Project never should have had sequels, number one. But number two, when they do get them, they don't expand enough on the lore to really get into why people loved the original film and wanted to know more, even after they found out that it was fake. There was a way to expand that, I think, to do more cool stuff. They have thousands of books and like video games from the PC back in the day. I think even comics that they tried to tie into that original film and build some lore around the first two movies. And yet, the films constantly drop the ball, whether it be the original for me or the sequels for you all who are big fans. I don't know, but this movie, I don't think anybody's looking forward to. There isn't a big fandom out there screaming for more of these. There's just not. There's people like me who love found footage and want more of that, made in general, Blair Witch or not. But the hardcore fans of the movie, the original, I don't think they want another one. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comment section below if I'm wrong about that, if you happen to be a diehard of Blair Witch fandom. But, I don't know, man. I feel like the best encapsulation of what Blair Witch could continue to be is number one, low budget, and number two, a video game. That's the only way you could make this work. And I think the PS4 video game that I've not played, but I've heard everybody I've talked to that loved the original film apparently loved that game quite a bit too. It seems to me like that is the way to maintain that same experience in modern day. You can't do what the original movie did because everything's out of the closet now. Maybe the video game path would be the best way to go. Maybe Blumhouse should venture into that a little bit. Do a haunted house simulator like that PS4 game. I don't know. Just a thought. Probably a little bit more of a complicated path to go if they would go that way. Anyway, Blair Witch's new movie. What do you think about it? Are you excited for it? Do you hate the idea of it? Are you a hardcore fan? And let me know, again, whether you're excited for any of this or not. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the original film, the sequels, all of it. Let me know everything you think down below. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.